Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to LIBOR's Wednesday webinar. My name is Marianne Monteleone, Vice President of Professional Development for LIBOR. We have a special guest back with us today, Jay Gutenberg, so that I don't forget anything and forget any details of Jay's background. I'm going to formally introduce you, Jay. So Jay Gutenberg is a graduate from Hofstra University with a bachelor degree in business administration and immediately started his career in the insurance industry. Having joined LIBOR in 1988, he's been a non-practicing New York State licensed real estate agent and with many realtor clients. Jay is a New York State certified trainer and instructor for the Long Island Board of Realtors. He specializes in the real estate industry, providing brokers and agents with E&O insurance, personal and commercial insurance, and home warranties for over 35 years. He has sponsored many of LIBOR's events, Women's Council, and has attended all of our conferences and New York State conventions. Jay has presented at other realtor associations, including HGAR, CYBOR, Smart MLS. He contributes to his community and holds the position of VP of Manorville Chamber of Commerce. Not sure about that, though, Jay. You're in Florida now, and is very active in his local community. He currently works within the industry as a consultant, teaching and servicing different real estate software programs and products. And in 2007, he received the prestigious LIBOR Realtor Affiliate of the Year. So Jay is with us today to talk about RPR commercial real estate, and we welcome you back, Jay.
Thank you very much for that intro. And yes, I'm still actively involved in a lot of the organizations that I on Long Island. So we're going to talk today about RPR. RPR is called Realtors Property Resource. I actually saw RPR being presented about 12 years ago in the state of Oregon when I was doing an MLS presentation there. And I saw this being presented for the first time to the entire MLS, and it caught my eye. And then literally a year and a half later, Long Island Board of Realtors picked up RPR. RPR stands for Realtors Property Resource, and it was primarily a residential tool that helped support the agents throughout the country. It has every piece of parcel of property on it. It is active with literally almost every MLS across the country. It gave the real estate community the ability to pull up data. It's really a combination of multiple MLSs. It's a combination of public records, and slightly after the release, it started to develop its commercial side. And I believe this is our first commercial presentation for Long Island, so welcome all. The goal here is to go briefly through the program, talk about what it does, what it benefits to you, and understand that there is a residential and a commercial side to RPR. Some of the data intertwines. There are reports that get generated in RPR that residential agents use the commercial reports, and vice versa. Some of the commercial agents use some of the residential reports because they need to know and want to know what's in that environment. Maybe if you're trying to lease property or business owners in a town, if somebody comes to you, for example, and says, I'm interested in developing a restaurant, certainly demographics are important, tapestry is important. So this program gives you a lot of data. So I'm going to run through the data, the navigation of it, what the data is. We'll grab a couple of videos that are on the system. Understand that you all have access and are a member of RPR. You may need to activate your account. You can get activation either going through the MLS. There is a single sign-on, or you can contact RPR directly. That being said, I'm encouraging all of you to take out your cell phone, take this number down. If you have a challenge logging in, it just means that there's a disconnect between your phone number, your email, between LIBOR, NISAR, and NAR. The member employees of RPR, which are located in Chicago at the NAR office, will assist you. As ridiculous as this sounds, they are open 24/7, manned by real people. So if you have and want to log in and navigate anytime, they're there to assist you. They work for you. So make sure you take that number down. Also, I would encourage you to have available your NERDS number. It makes it a little bit easier to identify you when you do call the state and or NAR or RPR. The first question they ask is, who are you and what is your NERDS number? Your NERDS number can be found in your profile on the LIBOR site as well as in your RPR account. And I would suggest that you put that in one of the fields on your cell phone where you just took the phone number and put NAR RPR or RPR NAR, and then there's a first name, last name, company, put in one of those fields the letters NERDS, NRDS, that's your identification number, and I'll show you where you can retrieve that and put that in there. So you're seeing now my home page. If you log in and you do not see your company logo here, you can have your broker owners contact RPR at that phone number. They will send them a link so that you can upload the logo of your company to the platform for branding purposes. There is a residential and a commercial side. You can see me toggle between the two. The setup is basically the same. So whether you're practicing just commercial or you're doing both, you have to set up your account. We're going to start with that. The setup is on the top line. You'll see the icon, home, research, reports, learn, help, my work, and then either your initials and or picture if you've uploaded it. So I am going to drop this down. This is where your profile is and your settings. You set it up this way. Add your picture, add your company logo. It can be the same logo of your company, but it'll appear on the reports. The goal of RPR is to give you guys data quickly, easily. We have a mobile application, mobile platform, works even more impressively than the desktop version because you can pinch, you can zoom, it's got the GPS locator, it's got a lot of functions. You could hit a button, you could contact the agent, things like that. So it's got a lot more high-tech value to it. What you navigate in, whether it be the desktop or the mobile device, each of them sync together. So if you're searching on the desktop, all your results will appear on your mobile and vice versa. Here is your NAR member number. It's called NERDS NRDS ID number. It is public information, so I'd encourage you to have it. It makes it easier for you to communicate when you contact them. You want to make sure that your contact information is correct. Your brokerage is correct. If you work for a company with multiple locations, you cannot change this. You can only update this. Phone number, email, website, MLS or CIE membership. Okay. License number, you can add. It does look impressive on the reports. If you have assistance, you can add assistance to the program as well. The device is automatically synced. You don't have to do anything. If you log in to a separate device, it'll automatically sync, whether it be a tablet or a phone. Make sure the time zone is correct. Does not default to Eastern. Password. You're required to set up an original password. I've had my original password for 12 years, so you do not need to change it. But this is where you would. Once you complete your setup, it's saved. Then you need to update the settings. Settings is the second aspect. So there is a residential and commercial section. Okay, we'll talk about commercial. You can set new listings. You may want to consider new listings 30 days, or what most do is 7 days. You can go down lower if you like, but it'll identify it. So I'll leave it at 7 days. Recently closed, same thing. You have the ability to add what we call my markets. If there are specific markets that you are interested in, so they will appear on your home page, give you quick reference without having to search. You'll notice here that most of these addresses are either LIBOR training facilities, locations I've lived in, places I've trained consistently at. So I have a handful and it keeps growing of my market areas. So once you set that up, you hit save. And it's pretty simple. And we can get into the program. Gonna go back to home. Okay, so this is your home page. The static toolbar up on top. Home page, research. We'll talk about each of these tabs. These are your research. Some of them are residential. We have commercial site. We're going to talk about these today. Marketing, same thing. We integrate residential and commercial. We're going to spend time on commercial clients, commercial property reports. RPR generates 11 reports for residential realtors and 3 reports for commercial realtors. Once again, they are interchangeable. If you need some information regarding some residential information for your commercial client, who their audience may be, okay, that is important. So just because you're a commercial broker doesn't mean that you can't tap into and take advantage of the residential information that RPR provides. Reports. RPR generates reports. Here are the 11 reports on the residential. If you drop that down, you'll be only seeing the commercial reports, property report, trade area analysis. We will look at each of those today. You can have a doorbell set up so that it rings when the report is generated. Each report takes approximately a minute, but if you leave and you want to hear the noise so you know it's done, you can toggle between the two and set your account up that way. Learn. Learn is the most important button. It basically tells you what's going on in your page that you're on. This is a great little 4-minute video. Going to give you a lot of intro of where we're going, where we get our data from, and then I'm going to navigate in the policy. So as you're navigating, if you get lost, hit the learn button. It usually has at least 2 videos about that page, and then potentially some questions, blogs about it, comments about it. Right now, I'm going to let you listen to this.
In this video, we'll walk through the property information and my update sections of the property details page for a commercial property. After you've searched for a property or researched a geography and selected a property, you'll arrive on the property information tab. This page spotlights key facts about a property. Begin by getting a clear view of the property using street or satellite views. Also, if available, view a 3D tour and historical photos. To the right of the property, you'll see basic facts as well as pricing information if the property is for sale or for lease. This property is for lease, so scrolling down, you'll find the suites for lease info, description, and lease details. Under the description, select the plus sign to add your own personal notes, which you can choose to include or not include in your report. To the right, an interactive map is shown, allowing you to access all the map features, including traffic counts, business points of interest, and data layers like flood zones. If the property is for sale, listing agent information, including contact information, will be displayed below. In some instances, RPR may have more than one version of a listing, or the listing could be for sale and for lease, or there could be multiple suites available in one building. In the multiple listings section, you'll see each record we have from our listing partners. The record that is shaded light yellow is the active record. Select the listing ID to view the additional records. Next, the property facts section includes both public and listing facts for the property. Use the Your Changes column to input additional details. For instance, if the lot size is different from what is reflected in RPR. Also, if there's information missing that you have, such as the ceiling height or cap rate, you can select Add Another Row to add custom rows of information. These changes are only available to you and the reports you create. Select Save to save your changes. Below, find the building summary, which includes suite use, lease price, and tenancy type. Note this will vary from property to property. Additional resources includes links to our partners, such as Valuate the Investment Analysis software, or take a look at the property on one of our listing partner sites, such as Cruxy, Brevitas, Total Commercial, and CompStack. You'll also see zip form integrations here and Climate Check. Where available, detailed tenant data is displayed to help you understand whether a particular building is a good fit for a client, as well as to understand the tenant mix from an investment standpoint. You can also edit the details of a tenant by clicking the pencil icon to add information such as main contact name, phone number, or business type. Once completed, you can even print out a list of tenants by clicking here. View listing details and miscellaneous details here. Scroll down for interior features, exterior features, location details, including flood zones, owner facts, legal description, including zoning and even plat maps were available. View listing history, including current and historical where applicable. Compare this record against historical records for this property by clicking here. Scroll through to notice the differences. Last, view the public record history, including deed, mortgage, tax, and distressed. Select the arrow to paginate through the records and click View More Details for the full history. To view trade area information, select Trade Area at the top of the page where you'll find economic and demographic info. Watch the Trade Area Details video to learn more. And last, select My Updates to add additional notes or photos to the property. Once you've added any notes you have on the property, select Save. Add any additional notes by selecting Add Note. You can also edit or delete here. Click Photos to add your own photos, then select Upload Photos. To make a photo you've uploaded appear on your report cover page, first select the photo and then click Make Report Cover in the upper right corner. You can also select individual photos in the upper left corner or select all photos here. Once any photos are selected, the ability to delete them appears. Select OK. All notes and photos are automatically added to your reports, but you can unselect them on the reports generation page by unchecking the box labeled My Notes and Photos. And that wraps up our review of the property details page for a commercial property. Be sure to subscribe to the RPR YouTube channel. It's an easy.
So you can see how thorough, some videos are a little longer than others, some are slower, depending if it's directional, instructional, overview. So we're going to take you through a lot of those tasks, but I wanted to demonstrate to you, number one, where we get a lot of the data from and how to navigate. So the Learn button's impressive help. If you need any help with RPR, you need to make a correction, you can't find the property, you know it's the wrong address. I probably encounter 1.5 errors in RPR a year. It has usually a lot to do with the geocoding, a wrong address. The post office has one address, the town has another. But this program and the people that run this program are really work for you. Their goal is to make this program as perfect as it possibly can for agents. So if you need to report something, you can call them. They listen to every suggestion, every complaint, every error that's there. You can call them, you can live chat. I have a suggestion. I can't find this property. I know it's on Stewart Avenue. I know the address is this, whatever. Within an hour of you making that request, they will get back to you with, hey, we've sent it to this department. Within a day, you'll get another email basically telling you what that department has done, if they've corrected the problem. And then if it's a suggestion for programming or things like that, it'll go to programmers, and by the end of a 5-day period, you'll get another email basically saying, hey, great suggestion. Yes, it's on our list, or no, we can't do it because this data is unavailable, whatever the case will be. So my point is, this is your program. Don't hesitate to communicate with them. They are very responsive to the needs of the marketplace and the agents. My work is an important tab. This is where there's a summary of all of your activity. So when you look at my reports, my notes, my saved searches, this is a quick, easy reference to get to that data. As I scroll down, there are 6 panels here. Those 6 panels here are my listings. I am not active. I do not have any. You would if you are. My properties, similar to this tab up here, as far as my work. Here are all of the saved properties. RPR saves your data whether it's a report that you generated or a search that you've generated, it saves it automatically for 30 straight days. Time, date, and stamp. To extend it, you either have to save it and or rerun that report or rerun that search, and it will save it for an additional 30 days. The goal there is RPR updates its data on a lot of its components daily, sometimes yearly, sometimes obviously in between, depending on the topic and the section. And as you navigate through, we disclose where we get the data and how frequently it's updated. So if you're in a property value and, you know, it may say updated, you know, 10/11/2022, it usually gets updated within 30 days. So you'll expect to see it in 2 weeks from now. Here is any reports you may have ran. You can view them all. There are all the reports. Once again, 30 days, time, date, and stamped. Notes, I left a note on a property, I'm not sure which one. This program should change how you operate from now on. Any property that you see, you show, you look at, you should go into on tablet or phone, especially if you're there, and make your notes. You can even dictate into the phone, hey, great building, but the loading dock is, or this is a great asset, but this is not. You can make notes, you can take pictures, you add it to your account. It's your account. Nobody else sees that data unless you generate a report and include it when it goes out. Or you can just eliminate it and use it for your purposes only. But it is a report that you should be going to literally every property that you see. You see a property that's having a renovation in your marketplace. Maybe it's air conditioning, maybe it's a soffit, maybe it's siding, whatever. Take a picture, put a comment there, and this way it'll become part of the property in RPR for the data that you can retrieve at any time. Save search panel, saved and recents. Okay, are there. Scrolling down, Facebook, the phone number. Also important, like the Learn button, we have a learning center. You click on the learning center. You can click on commercial, you can click on any of the topics, and there are videos. YouTube is a great resource. There are dozens of training videos from different MLSs as well as RPR on YouTube. You just type in RPR commercial, and there's at least a dozen of them. They're very similar because the content's the same. So pick one that you like, and they're usually anywhere from about an hour. Depending on a particular topic. Sometimes they really drill down into investment analysis, and there'll be one just on investment analysis as well. So I'm going to go back into RPR. That covers our home page. Let's start to navigate. I am going to pull up a property. So I'm familiar with Garden City, Stewart Avenue. I've had offices there, and I'm going to use a couple of addresses that I have been in recently. So I'm going to pull this address up first. So we get an inquiry. This happens to be an active property for sale. It is right behind Roosevelt Field. This is the tabs that are on top. It is a property information, trade area, my updates as mentioned in the video. We have photos. This is the photo. We have the street view. We got a satellite picture. We got historical data. Okay. It tells you where it is. So there's a lot of information. RPR, in most cases, whether on the residential or the commercial side, has way too much data for you to start generating reports without looking at the data, weeding out the data, and then sending it. And we're going to talk about that. It has the list price, it has what it's sold for, has all of the basic data as I scroll down. Here is the public fact data, listing data. If you need to make any changes, you can. Once again, these changes are for your eyes only. Every property in RPR has an interactive heat map next to it. So if you click on the interactive heat map, you can take advantage of some of the cool functionality of the mapping, which we will do today. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, gives you an idea of what's going on, where this is located. Most of you will know the area. So this is the subject property. Okay, here is the activity around it. Okay, you can draw, if you want to draw a map, you can draw specifically around, get demographics. You got, if you click on the driving, you can see the driving time, the distance, the traffic counts. They do get generated in the reports. If you want to look at the POIs, you can put in the POIs. I'm just going to show them to you. Apply. I can even put all these in. Takes a second. There they all updated. So if you have a business that's related to the medical industry or hospitals or hospitality, you may want to be near them. So this is all important information. Schools probably not, unless it's a business like a learning center or something to do. Maybe you want to be in an area where there's schools. We have different data layers of the mapping, different data layers. Some of them, and you'll see here, demographic indicators, pretty impressive. We're going to run through some of these today. Okay, obviously the ones that pertain to you, sometimes flood insurance. If I click Garden City's nowhere near a flood zone, but if I was on the north or south side of the Long Island, flood zones would be an impressive information. I would click on it and it would tell me which flood zone it's in, and I can scroll down. Literally, I'll go south, and Garden City usually hits the Baldwin area. And there we are. There's Baldwin Harbor. And I can see if there's any buildings. There's some near the Freeport area that are commercial. And you can see the activity there as well. So that map data layers, a lot of different ones, and the demographics. The legend gives you an idea of what all the data is. And that's here as well in the external map feature. Listing agent. If there's multiple listings, you can see the yellow is the one that they're pulling. If you want to see others, you can click on them. Additional, let's stay on this side. Let's go down to building description, public listing facts. We went to the map. Any notes that you may have taken, you can do. Add a row. You can add information. Okay. Especially if someone is your buyer and you want to send them the report, and you want to add some information, you can. Tenants that are here, you can edit them as well. Public information gives you public area. We also have public records, exterior information, flood zone information, owner's name, legal description, listing history, public information. Also, potentially not on every property, but if we can pull the financial activity, we click on mortgage, we can see mortgage information. So there's some things that you may not want to send out, tax information. So that's something you may want to edit if you have a buyer for a property and want to send them information, or it is valuable information if you're looking to solicit, and you may see people that have been in a property for X number of years, or have a value and a mortgage at a loan at a different rate, different amount. That may be an incentive for them to potentially sell, and you can figure that out as well. All right, so as I scroll down on the right side, we have the listings. We've got the additional resources, investment properties. You can go to the evaluate program. You can put in a lot of the data. So if you click on it, it will leave RPR. And you can continue, and it'll build you your spreadsheets, and you can put in all of the information that you may want to use to see if it is a profitable building based on the interest rate, based upon the down payment, based upon the rent roll. You can go through each of these tabs, plugging in the data. It's pretty impressive. There are videos on how to do it if you're unsure. both in RPR and on YouTube. I'm gonna go back to RPR, to the property. And that takes care of the info center on the first page. All right. Let's talk about the tabs and the searching. We can search for properties. We can pull up, let's do 11530, which is Garden City. We click on Garden City. We can follow the tabs over. We want to find a property for sale or for lease. We can do it that way. We can see active, all the parameters here. We can do all. Here are two selected right now. If I click all, whatever you need, you may not need them all. But just to create some data for this presentation, I'm going to click all. Pricing. We can set pricing. For this example, I'm going to leave it generic. Building, square foot, lot, square foot. We also have additional filters. Additional filters are pretty impressive. We can scroll down to the additional, pre-foreclosure, bank owned, miscellaneous fields, owners' names, keywords, time owned. We can pull up property that is in ownership in excess of. Also, things that are not fielded, that there is no fields, we can include properties with blank values just to get all of the data. You would just click on that and it would generate that. Let's see if we have any results. So there are some of the results in Garden City. Blue, yellow, data layers. Okay, not data layers, legend, sorry. Lease, for sale. Okay, some for sale, for some lease. Let's click on one of these properties. Full property details. Pictures. Description. Any notes? Once again, only notes by you, not notes left by them. Listing agent. Where we get the listing from. Instructions. I'm going to pull up a property. Let's grab another one. We're going to go to outside of that. Let's pull up Garden City again. Let's see, we'll pull this one up. This looks like it's a restaurant, I guess. View property details. Yeah. Here's all your resources. Okay, so we're going to now generate some reports. The goal of RPR is to generate reports, generate some of the marketing, generate some of the information that you may need to convey to somebody. So if I click on create report, or if I click on trade area, let's start with trade area. So I'm on property information now. If I go to trade area, it's going to give me some details, then I'll run the reports. So here's your trade area. Gives you all the information regarding this area. So it's a restaurant, so you're going to want to see all of the data. Who are they servicing? Who's coming to see them? You can also pull up the demographics by a location to see what group of people live in that area, what their disposable income is, what their habits are. So if we go through all of this, we have age, we got income, education, a lot of information here. We tell you and disclose where we get the data from, how frequently it gets updated. Consumer segmentation for each area. It breaks it down to usually the top 3 or 4 groups. And it gives you all of the tapestry of that market. place and the description and all the demographics. So impressive information here. And if you don't want to see any information in any specific area, you'll notice that there are these 3 stackable hamburger snowmen. Everyone calls it something different. You can collapse that so you don't see it necessarily throughout the system. I'm now going to run our first report for this class. I ran a few this morning in another class, so that's why the number 3 is there. We're going to run a few today. Create report. It sort of knows where you are. You were not in a property, you were in a trade area. So it's prompting you to do a trade area report. We'll run that report, then we'll go back to a property, run that, and then we'll run the trade area analysis. Gives you approximately how many pages in each report. It gives you a sample of the report, what components are in the report. Here are all of the components in that report. You're going to look at these reports and you're going to get familiar with some of the information, and you're going to never send them out until you review the report, look at it, make sure it's the right data that you want to send. You may not want to send financial mortgage records. You may not want to send the notes. You may not want to send things, so you have to look at them. This is the way the system defaults. It eliminates school, but if it's a business that the school's information is important, you need to click on it. I'll do it for this example. In addition, you have the ability to add custom pages. I have added some fake custom pages, but custom page might be an appointment confirmation on a building. Maybe you're going to show a building and you want to send out a report, which includes a confirmation of the date and time of the showing, or something about your company, something about a bio. You'll see. So I will include my sample custom pages just to show you the full benefit. We run report, all the features. Whoops, address is required. Did we not put in 11530? Oh, let's do it on that. It's a trade area report. And then let me go back. Okay, so create the report, trade area report. Add my custom pages, add my school, it should generate. Good, and then run. There we go. All right, so while that report is generating, you will see it up here. It takes approximately no longer than 2 minutes, about a minute and change, and you can do something else. So I'm going to go back to my home page. I am going to pull up that first address that we looked at. I think it was this one. Let's do another one. This is another building I was in at one time. So here's a building not for sale, but I want to get the information. I can run the report on the building. So property information, create report. It prompts you, it knows that you pulled up a single property, whether it was for sale, whether it was for lease, whether it was off market, which that is. You can once again see the sample. I'm leaving off my custom pages. I'm going to put back my school data because I am interested, and I'm going to rerun that report. Now, you can also enter a name and an email address and send it out. I do not recommend you doing that until you look at the report, make sure it's exactly the data that you want. You will hear a doorbell in a minute or a few seconds regarding that last report. I'm going to run this report. There we go. Here's the first report that we generated. I'm going to download it. 25 pages, Garden City, customized based on our setup and our profile. Here is the custom pages that I have added as samples, just to show you can add custom pages. One is appointment confirmation, a bio about myself. If there were any properties or production or brochures from my company or me that I wanted to include, this is fake news. I did not have anything to do with any of these transactions. This is just made up for demo purposes, including that. Here's where the report actually starts without the customization that I've added. And you'll see the trade area report, all of the data. It explains the 4 groups of consumer segmentation. Gives you all the statistics, it tells you who they are, it gives you a description. You may not want every one of these, you may want to only include one, you may want to only include two, so you can go in and edit it, but you need to edit it back from the report. This is already generated as a PDF, so it is not edited here. I will show you where to edit it after I complete showing you all of the components, and basically it's all of the statistics and all the information under the property section. So it regenerates all the data as you saw, and I'll show you where it comes from and I'll show you how to edit it. Traffic counts, very important. And it gives you back history. And the last page is about RPR, which, you know, other than this being the presentation, the consumer general public will not know about it. I'm going to go out of this report. I'm going to go back. Oh, here's the second report. Now, this is the report on the property itself. This was the other address on Stewart Avenue, which is located right next to the Meadowbrook Parkway. And this is an old, not for sale property. Here's all the data. Everything, and I'll show you again where it gets from all those pages, all the tenant information. And I believe this one also includes the school information, which I will show you. Yeah, so there's the school information that is located near there, if needed. And here's your traffic counts. And summary about RPR. All right, so let's talk about editing the reports, because the goal of RPR not only is to get the information, but to edit it. So in the reports, and this was the last report that we ran, it's a property report. I didn't put any custom pages in. I included all this data, including the schools, but here, subject property photos to include. You have choices. Distance. You have choices. Choices. Customize, I'll include my notes. Then let's say you looked at it and you didn't want to include any of the mortgage records. We just delete it. And let's say we didn't want to include any distressed activity around that property. I'm going to delete 2 items. Let's delete the schools too, just to show you, and then we rerun it. We can rerun that. You can rerun reports all day. There is no additional cost. There's no cost at all. They keep the data in there. It's not going to take up space for you. They purge after 30 days. And once again, customizable per report. So we ran a property report. You can see the samples by clicking this. Here are all the components. You could hover over and get an idea of what that section is. So if you're not wanting that section of data, you can just then eliminate it like we did here. To reset, click on reset. It'll bring you back to the way the system resets, only minusing what they call the residential data from this commercial report. And they reset this data here, which you can then review and edit. This is the full report. Same data. And you're good to go. To send that out, we talked about it. All you're going to do is put a name, switch this to email, type in an email. We're happy with that report, and we can then send it right out. So I'm going to set that back, and it will go to you so you know that it was sent out. Confirmations after you visit a property. You can run these reports, have them on your tablet, on your phone, so that when you're there and there's questions, you can easily text and or email out from your mobile device. No texting from the desktop, but certainly texting from the mobile platform. So once again, the mobile platform has got a lot of benefits and features that the desktop version does not. Okay, so let's go up to a property search. Let's do Farmingdale. We're in the commercial, we go Farmingdale. We want to cover some data, so let's pull up some data, and we have sales for sale. I think we have this already done. We could do all, just get some data. Let's pull up some search. So we have some data here, that's good. All right, so I got some few pieces of data. Now, I can create reports, I can create mailing labels, I can create, if I click here, I can create the list of data. I can sort this by different categories. I can select properties. I can eliminate properties. I can select them. I can create from databases mailing labels. Click on mailing labels. Which properties would you like to export? I can export all results. Pick my label type. Owner information. You can do up to 2,000 a month. After that, you have to subscribe to a company called Black Knight, which is where we get a lot of our data from, and you can generate more at a fee. That's the only real fee that you'd have if you decided to go in excess of what RPR provides. So creating a marketing is important, and that's where you would create that database. Here, you can see the view differently. And last one would be the map. If you want a specific area, you can draw an area and search that area. We just have all these properties here, which is fine. So let's get the results again. Oh, let's save. So let's say I want to save this. I can save it, rename it, maybe for a specific client or just a category as it's here. And I can save, and that search is going to save. It's even dropping this down, telling you where your saved searches are. Okay, this is where they'll be. Going to the last report. This is my search. We did that. I want to get to my last report. So let's pull up a property. Strange. Come on. Okay, let's pull up a property. A little buffering going on, hang on. Let's try this. Go this way, pull up the property. Okay, we'll use this one. There we go. All right, so we have a property. Let's produce our trade area report. You can click on it. Here's all of the demographics for the trade area. And we can create the report here. And let's run that report. Trade area report, and then we're just going to do the trade area analysis. This is the one we ran before. We're just going to hit run, and we're good. While that's being generated, I'm now going to hit the trade area analysis. Now, trade area analysis is a smaller report. It is an overview. I'm going to click on here. Custom pages going to eliminate, no reason for them. But here are the 4 components of that. Let's run it. They do let you customize it, so we're going to go to site selection analysis. So what's the area? We're going to put in Garden City. Now, this is where you can get up to 5 different attributes. So we have Garden City. We're going to drop this down. Here's your choice. We're going to put who they are. We can go by income, net worth, we can go by any one of these categories, so I'm gonna go by income. Then we can, it branches up into what description of income. So I'll use median household income, average, doesn't matter. Okay. Now I can run my analysis. That's the last report. I'll look at that in a second. So this is nice. Look what this does. It pulls up all the demographics. Now you can break this demographic up a little bit. So it starts out with the average. You could expand it from least to most, including more data. It defaults to average. You can break it up by neighborhood and or census. See the census that it breaks it up to? Okay, and then you can see the data based on the census, and you can select each of the areas that you want, and then you can either search for listings, search all public records, run an analysis based upon just that one section that you pulled up. So we can search for listings, not sure what's there, if there is any, there is none there. Then we can go back to the other sections as well. You can use the back button here. We can search all public record data, just hitting the different buttons, getting all the public record data. Picking another one. Run the analysis. Not sure why that doesn't work, and let's get this one here. This is your trade analysis, and we're going to run it. So you can break up this marketplace into different categories once this report gets generated. Now, to retrieve your reports, you'll notice the count went when we started this from 3 to 8. So I ran 5 reports in this segment. Each of the 3 reports may have had a deviation of it or an edit of either of these reports. All the reports are here. The last report that we're waiting for is this one. It says 2 minutes remaining. All these reports will stay here for 30 days, time, date stamped. And if you wanted to do something with these reports, you can. You can delete, you can post, you can rerun, you can view. And we'll look at that one when it generates. We also, LIBOR, one key generated a commercial, has built a commercial class. This is just a demo. It is in the Department of State waiting for approval. It should be approved shortly. So if you're interested in using this RPR program, I would suggest you take that 2-hour class. We'll go into much greater detail on how to navigate. It is a hands-on class, so you can interact with me, ask questions, navigate next to me on a separate device. Very much how we teach the residential agents how to use the program. Here is that 11-page report. It includes the 3 confirmation, the 3 custom pages. So let's take off actually 4. So we'll eliminate that. I'll show you how to do that. I thought I did it. Here is the results of that report based upon the segments that we selected. Let's go back. How do you edit the report? You go back to the actual report. You go here, you view the plus sign, get rid of these. Just rerun it, and that will not have those aspects of that report. You manage custom pages. Last topic, manage custom pages. Click here. You can add from your computer PDF any pages you want. You can then put them in the beginning or at the end of your reports. So you see here I have 2 in the beginning, 1 at the end of my report. So if you want to add something to that report about you, your company, the property itself, something other than what's available in RPR, this is the place to do it. You can also include page numbers and manage custom pages. So this concludes the commercial side of RPR. Thank you for all attending. Contact RPR if you cannot get in easily. It just means there's a disconnect. They are there to help you. They are there 24/7. Their phone number is on the home page. This is the report that has no custom pages. So it's only a 4-page report, including the summary of what RPR does. RPR's phone number is here. You can get there by going to the Stratus homepage is also there. Also, there's a link for RPR on each of the properties there as well. And I look forward to seeing you in future classes. Thank you and have a great day. Mary Ann, anything else you need to conclude? Okay, it's 1 o'clock, and once again, if you have any questions, call RPR. They're there to help you and assist you. And I look forward to seeing you in future classes. Take care now.